Hey everyone, and welcome back to Firewatch. In the last episode, Henry's watchtower got broken in by some mysterious person that we don't know yet. And then the next morning, I don't know what day we're on now. I don't remember the ending of the last episode, but the next morning, the communication towers or the communication lines seem to be down, according to Delilah, Henry's supervisor. And we're gonna go look and see what's up with those. They could be. We have like a couple suspects. It could be the guy who shined his flashlight on us in the last episode, or it could be the girls that were setting up the fireworks that we threw their boombox in the water, which, they kind of deserved it. This episode is a lot of just walking on towards the communication lines. There's not really a huge amount of stuff going on. But Firewatch does this thing where, and as you're going long stretches of time without really doing anything other than just sort of running through the world, they'll bring up conversations with Delilah. There's also moments like this where you can ask her about things in the world, which we kind of touched on earlier, but it's just something that you will keep seeing come up as you go through the world, because that's kind of the thing to find in this game, is there's just environmental things. There's not necessarily objects always to play around with.
Boring if you don't ski. We used to go to this bar called the Dollar, though. I love that place.
Oh, wait, is that down on Pearl? They have all the money pinned to the ceiling?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
I love that bar. Why don't you go anymore?
I got a DUI, so...
Oh.
Yeah, not particularly proud of it.
Well, I mean... Look, I haven't told anyone this, but, I got one too, 5 years ago.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was stupid. It was so stupid, but, it's late, it's winter, the streets are empty, and you just want to get home.
Totally.
Ugh, so fucking dumb. Hey, can you hold on a sec?
Sure. Just gonna keep hiking and hoping it warms up.
Heyo. I don't think so. Why, have you? Okay, good. No, I don't think he has any idea. I'm absolutely sure. Would you? All right, I'll let you know if anything changes in that regard. Hey, sorry about that. Anyway, I empathize with the DUI thing. Did your, girlfriend get mad, or whoever? You said we used to go to the bar. Ugh, sorry, I'm the most awkward woman on earth.
That would be my wife, Julia.
Oh, like your wife? Or like she's taken half my stuff wife?
My wife.
But you're here.
She's sick, and I shouldn't be here, but I am.
I'm sorry, Henry. What is it?
We'll get into it.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, you are here, and it's beautiful, and escaping isn't always something bad.
Yeah, sure.
Look, I gotta go do a thing, but I'll have a radio. Okay, call me if you need to.
In a lot of ways, I think Firewatch's world is built in a way so that conversations like that, even though they start off as something kind of unimportant, as talking about this bar that he used to go to, which is important for the character, I guess, in a way, but it's not that important for the narrative in the actual, present day narrative here. Or even things like this, like asking about an outhouse. Of course, this one doesn't lead to anything, but my point is that small conversations lead into sort of bigger, deeper things about their past and about how they feel about things. And I think that the world is built that way, or built in a way that's big, but also long enough for you to walk around in, so that way you have time for conversations like the one that just happened. And sometimes I think that can be to a fault for the game, because like I was saying earlier, there's not a lot of things to find in the world. So I think I'm recording this before the game is out, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are criticisms of this game being a little boring in a way, or at least that's the way they might put it, because there's a lot of kind of stretches of time that you don't really do much. I mean, yes, there's these supply caches, but what's inside of them is never that incredibly revealing to the narrative. It's mostly just little things to kind of be novel.
Well, makes sense.
I imagine if you've been through war, you probably can't get enough silence.
But there are little vignettes, sort of, I
Anything I
guess
should
is
know about the
what you could
Campo
call
Santo
them,
still?
little events like this one,
Wow.
which is pretty good.
Okay, then.
Looks like an abandoned outpost, I guess, another Firewatch or another Fire Outlook place, because there's one of those tree posters. If I just kind of briefly went over it, but it seems like one of those, but it was like burned down, which is just, it's not really environmental storytelling that adds much, but at least it's a little bit of like, oh, okay, there are people who've left things behind that are kind of interesting to look at. But that's kind of like the most you're going to get out of this game in terms of like things to look at that aren't just talking points with Delilah. Otherwise, everything you find is mostly going to be just environmental details and just things to look at. It's never going to be like Easter eggs. I mean, there are a few things, in the next few episodes we do find something that's actually pretty cool, but there's not a lot, and I think that could be a definite criticism, especially when there isn't any conversations to be had. Moments like right now, of course, I'm at the beginning of the game where, you are kind of you're awestruck by most of this stuff because the game's really beautiful, but later in the game, you're backtracking through these areas, and there's not always a lot to talk about. I think we're getting close to the communication line that we want to find. All these look fine, but there's obviously a problem, so we're probably looking for a cut down wire, I think. But you can see I don't really explore that much in this video. I've already kind of done some of that on my first playthrough, but there's nothing here. Like, there's a cache that I'm going to walk up to right now, which I actually skipped the first time, but you can go and open this, but even then, like, what's in there is not anything groundbreaking. It's just another note. And the note, yes, they are kind of interesting texture for different characters that came before you, but again, it's nothing that's really that important for the game. I like the exploration in a lot of ways because I think that when it does work, when there are things to talk about, it is really engaging. But I do think that near the end of the game, and we'll probably talk about this more, it gets to where it's a little kind of dull. I do think that I think that that's a totally valid criticism, especially later in the game, but I do think it's important to come up to talk about now, especially since this is where the game really front loads a lot of the conversations in the environments, and I'm not sure how it determines when to bring up the conversations, because it seems like later in the game there's way less. Obviously there's less because of the current status of where the characters are at in the story, but it also seems like sometimes it might kind of wait too long to have some type of topic being brought up, especially since none of it's under your power usually, other than like talking about items.
Guess what?
What is it?
There's a bunch of empty cans up here.
Same as before?
Yep.
These fucking kids.
Why do you think they'd be up here?
Hell if I know, but they better have stayed away from our communication stuff.
Well, I hopped down a drop and now I can't climb back up.
That is a pickle.
I can just keep hiking, but I figured I should let you know in case I get myself trapped out here.
How adventurous of you.
I've been doing a lot more climbing out here than I expected.
Well, keep your radio charged. I'd hate to one day find a skeleton with an orange backpack at the bottom of a ravine.
I can see the wire you're talking about. It looks like it's in good shape from here.
We'll follow it up to the top of the trail if you can. You can head back as soon as you give me the all clear.
Got it. Yeah, okay, the wire's down here.
Okay, good. Any sign of those girls? Did they mess with anything?
I'll look around. Hey, so the wire is definitely down out here. I just found it. Yeah, the thing is, it doesn't look like the wind. It looks like it was cut deliberately.
I knew it the moment you said you found their trash. These idiots are gonna pay. Do they realize this is how people die? I mean, what if something happened to one of my lookouts while this was going on? And God forbid there's an actual fire burning out of control.
What do you want to do?
I want you to go find them.
And then what?
I haven't thought that far ahead. That's not true. Everything that comes to mind is illegal.
Let's hear it.
Oh yeah?
Hey, I came out here for a breath of fresh air and some adventure. What do you got?
I think I want you to just find them and scare the hell out of them.
Yeah, I'd make a spooky ghost costume, but they stole my sheets.
I don't know. Wait for them to wander off and wreck their camp. Something that would make a teenage girl run home to mommy and daddy.
I'll find them.
Thanks.
But I am gonna need a raise.
Don't hold your breath. I'd start by hiking back towards your tower and just keep an eye out for anything that would lead you to them.
Well, they're big into Red Eagle.
Great. See if you can find the path they took down from there. Maybe they looped back around towards the lake or something. I doubt they're where they were yesterday, but they obviously can't have gone far.
So it's pretty convenient
I've
that
got
they're
another
going
trail
right
here.
back to the tower. I think you're coming from it, or coming from this location through a different route that you did before. So it's just another way of getting used to other ways around the world. And again, I think that, you know, that right there is actually one thing that I think if they didn't have that, that'd be really bad. Like if you really had to backtrack all the time, because with all these different routes, you do naturally come upon new things. Like I've never been here before, and there are new like things to look at least something new to take in. But it's not a giant world, so eventually you're going to be seeing this stuff over and over again.
There's an abandoned pack out here.
And it's not one of the teens?
No, it looks like it was lost a long time ago.
Well, you could always pilfer it for supplies.
Well, I am flush with ropes now. That pack was full of them, in decent condition, too.
That's lucky.
I mean, there's enough rope here that I could just leave them hooked up, I think. Oh, get this. This pack came with one of those cardboard single-use cameras.
With pictures left?
Yeah, he only used 3 or 4.
Neato.
Thank you, Brian Goodwin.
Wait, who?
The bag had the name Brian Goodwin sewn into the top.
Huh. Wow.
Do you know him?
Yeah, I just haven't heard that name in a few years.
Was he a ranger or something?
Oh, no. He was stationed in Two Forks, your lookout, with his dad Ned 3 summers ago. Great kid.
You can bring children out here?
No. You know, I'm not a stickler for rules. They took off halfway through the summer.
You guys keep in touch, you and the Goodwin kid?
Nah, they took off pretty unceremoniously. Plus, what's a 40-year-old woman gonna do with a teenage pen pal?
Good point.
Anyway, so it goes. Have fun with that camera. Try not to snap anything that would scar a Photodome employee.
I don't know, I got a lot of hiking to do. Might get bored.
Well, I'm bored as rocks, so I'll keep you company while you find those girls, huh?
So there's another example of a kind of unimportant conversation turning into something that reveals a little bit more about Delilah, who she is, and another character, Ryan Goodwin, who will definitely come up later, especially with Ned, his father. Again, another little sort of area that doesn't really have anything, but it's just a nice place to look through. And it's also kind of telling that they know that their world isn't necessarily full of stuff.
She's got Alzheimer's, like dementia.
Whoa. How old was she?
Is she? She's alive. She's with her family in Melbourne, Australia. She's 43.
Fuck.
Yeah.
What was it like when you guys found out?
Well, we didn't really understand what was happening. You don't get Alzheimer's in your late 30s.
No kidding.
But even then, we didn't really get it until she couldn't work anymore and I couldn't leave her alone. It wasn't until then that I said, oh, this is it. This is over. That was hard.
Hence the drinking and the DUI.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'm sorry to be such a downer.
Don't even. I'm happy to listen. And, you know, we'll try to have some fun this summer. I promise.
I see a really thin plume of smoke.
Yeah, I see it too. A thin plume like this is either a new fire or a campfire.
Campfire. You think it's them?
I reckon so.
It looks like it's to the southwest of me.
That's right. If you hike towards 5 Mile
So
Creek,
Delilah
that should
kind of
put
cut
you
me
in the
off there,
neighborhood.
but I meant that they know that their world isn't incredibly full of stuff because they give you the camera to sort of,
Will do.
take pictures of the beauty of the environment, the actual, like, the setting of it, the way it's sort of built, kind of just aesthetically, which I think is really an important thing, especially for this game.
Hey, Delilah?
What do you got? You found him?
No, not yet. Why would there be a fence out here?
Because sometimes hikers go ass over tea kettle when on a trail.
So the Forest Service would put up a big chain link fence?
A chain link fence?
Yeah. It looks like it surrounds a huge area.
Huh. That's weird.
Who are they keeping out of here? And why?
So in the next episode, we're going to go see where that plume of smoke is coming from and who's setting it off. Is it the guy who shined his light, or is it the girls? I don't know. I guess I do know, but we'll find out in the next episode.
Wouldn't you liken to know?
Oh my god, goodbye.
I'll ask next time I talk to someone, but that'll probably be a few days.